In this video, I'm going to be making a comparison of two different auctions only dealerships have access to. We're going to be going to an auction in person and an online auction where you can bid from anywhere. We're going to be checking out the pros, the cons, as well as going to each auction and seeing what prices are better at which auction. And of course, at the end of everything, I'm going to give you guys a take on what I prefer to be the best. What's up? My name is Jamal from Flipping University. In this channel, I help people that might not have too much mechanical experience go from amateur to expert flipping cars so that they can build a life of freedom, doing whatever they want, whenever they want. Now, before anything else, what I want to do is just go directly into the pros and cons. This isn't going to be a really long part of the video. We're going to make it quick, but I'll start out with the pros, specifically with the auctions that you can go to in person. And what's the first pro? Well, that would be actually going there in person. The fact that you can go there, you can check out the cars, you can feel them, you can smell them, you can taste the dipsticks if you want to, you can do all the above. You don't have to leave it to someone else checking out the car for you. Pro number two, you get to just try out cars. Like, let's say, even if it's not a car that you're trying to specifically buy yourself, let's say it could be some Lamborghini or something like that that you possibly want to have as a dream car in the future. You could go to the auction and actually get a feel of what that car is like, almost as if you were going to a dealership to try out the car, but you're doing it all for free, all at one spot. And the last pro, and probably one of the bigger pros of it all as well, is the fact that usually one auction will go by every week. Let's say by me, the auction that's closest to me, to Dessa, it goes by once a week on Fridays. So what you can do is, instead of looking for cars all week long, you could just have that one designated day to go there, check out the cars in person, and then possibly get all your inventory that you need for that week. Possibly, which does technically cut down time rather than having to search through cars constantly throughout the week, whether it be on Facebook Marketplace or whatever other area. Now for the cons. And the first con really is mainly that, well, you have to go there in person, and sometimes it's not exactly a quick trip. It depends on where it is around you. Some people, you might end up having to drive an hour or 2 hours away before you can get to that one auction to check out all those cars. And if it's no cars that you see there, that's good, kind of just a wasted trip. You know, you just wasted your time, you wasted your gas, all that stuff. The second negative is that, generally speaking, there's going to be higher buyer fees as well. Because of the fact that it's an actual auction house and they have more costs to keep everything running, of course it's going to be higher comparing it to something like an online auction. And now for the online auctions. The main one that I'm going to be referencing, by the way, when I talk about online auctions, is mainly ACV auctions. There's other ones out there like Copart and different things like that, but I don't really use those as much, just because those are auctions that generally sell cars that are a lot more busted. I'd rather go for ACV auctions where it's a better mix of cars. But the first pro with ACV auctions is the fact that you don't have to go anywhere. You could check out all the cars from the comfort of your home, from wherever, and literally get the cars transported to you. Everything is just included. You know, you don't have to go anywhere, so it saves you a lot of time as well. All you really have to do is just kind of take the time to search through your phone or on the computer or whatever the case may be. Second pro kind of goes against what I was talking about, the negatives of auction house, is that it's lower buyer fees generally, because of the fact, again, that they don't have as much to maintain and upfront cost to pay for as an auction house. From what I've seen, they're almost probably like half of what it would be comparing it to like a Manheim or a bigger auction house like that. And the third one, from what I've seen with something like ACV auctions, is that the people that's checking out the cars can technically be a little bit more thorough than you could even check out the car yourself. Even though technically you can't go there in person, and I will just say this is only with ACV auctions. I can't speak for other ones like Copart and all that stuff. But with ACV auctions, here I'll post up one of the listings of one of the cars, but you can do things like hearing what the audio does sound like. You can even see what it's like underneath the car, which generally, unless you have some type of jack stands that you're going to the auction with to jack up each car and roll under it, you're not going to be able to see that if you actually did go into the auction. You'll even see things like the paint readings of the cars and different things like that. So with something like ACV auctions, it's just very thorough, and in a lot of ways, to be honest, it's almost even more thorough than what you could check out yourself. All right, now for the negatives. The negative one is, it kind of goes hand in hand with one of the positives, where you can't check out the cars for yourself with something like ACV auctions. There's literally no way to do that. You have to wait until it's going up online. And for some people, that could be somewhat of like a scary thing, bidding on a car that you never actually checked out yourself. So it's understandable. And the second negative, and honestly the only other negative I could really think of, is just the fact that it's very different from the auction house, where there are cars that are going through every single day. And it is kind of a pro as well, because there's always going to be options out there that you can check through every day. But at the same time, it is something that you have to keep checking through. Almost just like if you were doing it on Facebook and you were just checking to see if there was any new Facebook postings coming up for cars. The same thing with ACV auctions, where you'd have to keep checking throughout the day to make sure you're not missing any deals. But now that we got all the pros and cons out the way for both of the auctions, we're gonna actually go to the auction. First, we're gonna start off with the Odessa auction by me. Could have used Mannheim as well, but Mannheim isn't by me. And we're gonna just check out some of the cars, take a couple of cars as a comparison, and we're gonna try to pick cars that I would personally try to go for kind of myself, and the cars that I like myself, and the cars that I usually recommend to get for people in this channel like me are cars that you don't have to do a crazy amount of work with. So maybe just small things like maybe having to change brakes or doing spark plugs or some simple things like that. We're gonna try to pick at least 3. What I would be doing with each car after seeing a couple of cars that we could potentially see what the prices go for is we're gonna see what the MMR shows. In case you're not aware of what exactly MMR is, as a quick thing, MMR is basically just called Mannheim Market Report, and it's a value that if you're a dealer you really still should basically be aware of. I wouldn't say you should gauge your pricing off of that, but it basically does just show what that car would usually sell for on average. And also keep in mind, when I do bring up the MMR per car, you should be looking at the adjusted MMR, which is the amount that is shown with the mileage that I put in and different things like that with the region and all that stuff. So make sure you're looking at the adjusted MMR, not just the regular MMR price at the top. All right, let's get over to the auction. Okay guys, so I'm here at the auction, and as a quick thing too, I don't have my mic that I would usually use with the other videos, so you guys can just let me know in the comments if you even tell much of a difference. I mean, honestly, if it's where you guys can't even see much of a difference with the mic quality, then I probably would just cut it down and use a phone mic. Usually it's better for when there's like a windy day or something, but you guys just let me know if you see a difference in quality or anything. But let's see what comes up. Okay, so this is the first one we're going to be trying to compare. This is a 2007 Hyundai Santa Fe, has 99,000 miles on it. Looks like overall it's in good condition. It has a current inspection sticker, good until next year. But I did already check to see how everything was working. I checked the codes, I already scanned the codes up. There was no codes in the system. Everything is working fine. The AC works fine. All the windows work fine. So I checked to see how much the MMR for this car was, and it looks like it's about 3,300 bucks for it. And it looks like it could probably sell around like $4,500 as a private sale. So again, when it goes to the auction, we'll see how close it gets to that. Honestly, this would actually be good for this flipping series that I'm doing. I'm doing a whole series, if you haven't seen it, where I'm flipping $1,000 to $100,000. This would fit into those cars generally, because I have about basically like $4,000 to flip into the next car. But this car is announced title absent, and usually I don't like going with cars that are announced title absent, just because you might end up having to wait a decent while for the title to come, and I'm not really trying to just be sitting around waiting for a car. But this will be good for this experiment. Okay, so I do want to get different price ranges, so we're going to try this one as well. This is a 2018 Hyundai Elantra, so it's a lot newer, has 101,000 miles. So we'll see what cars would go for in those higher price range of things as well. This is also in good condition. Again, I mean, it should be with the year, considering the year, and as well as like the mileage. It's not like it has a crazy amount of miles on it yet. I also already checked out the codes. There was only one code in the system. It was for a cylinder 3 misfire. It does look a little dirty inside, but I mean, really, for whoever buys this, a quick detailing job wouldn't be too crazy for this. And I already checked everything out with this car as well. Everything is also working. The AC is also working as well, which again is very helpful for me, so I'm not here burning up. So I checked out to see how much the MMR for this one. It looks like the MMR puts it around $8,700, and the private sale average value for this would be around like $9,400 for it, which, to be honest, is kind of surprising, because I mean, if I was buying this for $8,700, like that definitely would not be enough profit for me. But again, I mean, we'll see how close the prices go with everything. It might go a decent amount under MMR, so we'll see. And this is the last one I'm going to use as a comparison. This is on the complete higher spectrum of things. This is Dang near a brand new car. It's a 2021 Mercedes-Benz A220. Only has 20,000 miles on it, so literally probably only one person has used this car. Probably was like a lease or something like that, and they just brought it back. Obviously, it's in very good condition. It doesn't get in much better condition than this, really. I will say this is the dope part again that I love about actually coming to the auctions in person, just because obviously if you're just bidding on the cars online, you're not going to be able to see or feel what a car like this actually feels like, in as if you were going to experience it in person. But if you're here and you're at the auction, it's almost like you kind of get a chance to rent out the cars and stuff for a bit and try them out, which is pretty cool. But this is how it's looking inside. Obviously everything is in pristine condition inside as well. There were no codes in this system either. This car is looking beautiful. Now with this one, this is actually going to be pretty interesting, because from what I see, the MMR looks like it's around $31,000 for it, which is like, okay. I'm actually not too sure exactly what these cars go for used. Well, new, I should say. It looks like these cars go for around the same price as well. I mean, let's say if it's in very good condition, it's probably around like $34,000 or so. So maybe just a little bit higher than that. But again, hey, I mean, we'll see what it comes up to. But now we're gonna get over to the auction lanes and start seeing exactly what these people are putting in bids for these cars for and how much they end up selling for. Okay, so as you can see, it was kind of a mixed bag. One of the cars, the first one, the Hyundai Santa Fe, ended up going over MMR. They still probably could make some profit off it. Again, I mean, I wouldn't have gotten it myself. I wouldn't think that's enough profit for me, but who knows for whoever's buying it. But it went a little bit above MMR. The only one that really did pretty well from what I saw was that Hyundai Elantra, that newer one, where it went for about $7,700 and MMR for was around $8,700. So that's actually a pretty decent deal for whoever got that. The last one, the Mercedes-Benz, that's where you can see where things get a little crazy. So, and to be honest, I feel like with that one, it's mainly because it's probably a new car dealer that's getting a car like that and they're trying to add that to their lot. And most likely with a car like that, they can probably just add that to their inventory, and regardless if they're making money off of the flip of the car or not, they're really making more money on the back end. With all the people like you guys that be doing financing and stuff like that, that's where it kind of messes you up. So, and honestly, that's where a lot of dealerships nowadays make a lot of their money. It's not really on the sale of the car itself, it's more so on all the back end stuff that they're adding to the sale as well. But now that we got what it's like at the auction itself, at ADESA auction, now we're going to check ACV auctions. I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be checking 3 different cars and seeing around what the prices go for. Okay, this is the car we're going to kick things off with. This is probably the cheapest car that I saw out of the bunch. This is a 2012 Suzuki SX4. Right now it's at $2,300. We'll see where that goes pretty soon. But it doesn't really have any big mechanical problems or anything. It's just, I say the only thing I see right here is that the AC basically isn't working. So realistically, it probably needs at worst like a AC compressor, which isn't that crazy of a fix. It is kind of far from me. I mean, to be honest, if it was by me, then I probably would have went for it myself, but it's kind of far away. But it's 110,000 miles on it, so it's not too bad in terms of mileage as well. From what I saw, the MMR would post it around $3,400, and it could actually sell around $5,000. So it's decently far away from even what MMR is and what the private sale value would be. So we'll see if anyone is going to be jumping up the price from here, if it even gets closer to that $3,000 mark. But it's 30 seconds left. Let's see what it gets to. Okay, somebody just popped it up to 2,500. I have a feeling it's going to go a little above this. I feel like it's going to get closer to $3,000, which still isn't a bad price for whoever's buying it, but again, we'll see. And I did look at the other pictures of the car at different areas and stuff. It looks like it needs some detailing work inside, but overall it's in good condition. There's 10 seconds left and it's at $2,600 right now, which still is a good price. Let's see if someone's gonna jump in last minute, and yep, they usually do. So let's see if it sticks to this price now. All right, we're in the same position again. Now it's 10 seconds left, 5 seconds left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is it gonna go for $2,750? Nope. It's funny, it's like that a good amount of times. Like, you will literally wait until like the last millisecond to jump in on the bid, and it looks like someone did. And as I thought, it's like around $3,000 now, so let's see if it'll actually pass by that $3,000 mark. $2,950. So if somebody crosses that $3,000 mark, that buyer fee is gonna go up a little bit from what it was before. Oh, and yep, it just did. So we're just gonna jump to what the price is like when this whole thing finishes, so this clip doesn't go too long. And okay, it looks like, all right, it went for $3,200, but it is in pending status. So when it goes into pending, that basically just means that the person that got the top bid is going to go into negotiations with the seller. Really, it'll depend a little bit of what the seller wants to go for, but $3,200 pending, I'm guessing at most, maybe they'll probably go around what MMR will be, probably $3,400 or $3,500. Right here, there's a 2019 Jeep Cherokee. It's green light. There's really, from what I see, no big problems that have come up. There's the P0128 code. Looks like that was something related to just a temperature sensor, but it shouldn't be any really big fix. I will say some of the codes were cleared, so there could be something else in the system, but it does have a green light warranty policy along with it. This one has 142,000 miles on it, so not a crazy amount of miles. Right now it's at $9,000 for the current bid. The MMR puts it right under that, really, at around like $8,700, but it does look like it could sell around $11,000 for this exact spec. So let's see if anyone's gonna jump on the bid above this, or if it's even gonna sell at all. And there we go. So this person, whoever was selling this car, it still wasn't even at their reserve price. So as you can see, whoever is selling this car is in for way too much money. The fact that their reserve price is literally what the car should be selling for at private sales shows they probably got the car way back during wild COVID times and is just stuck with the car now. Okay, so now this is the next one. This is a 2020 Toyota Camry. As you can see, the bidding is coming down pretty low. It has 25,000 miles for it. It's the LE model. It doesn't really have any problems with it. It really shouldn't. It's basically brand new. But let's see what price range this goes for. Right now it's at $23,050. The crazy thing though, which again, it was kind of like that Mercedes, is that the MMR actually puts it around $2,200. So it's technically already over MMR. From what I saw, even when I checked on Kelley Blue Book, it looks like it sells even private sale for around the same price, around $23,000. So I don't even know how much people would make if they're actually trying to flip a car like this. And boom, it sold for $23,050. Well, now a couple of things that we can take from this part as well. So first of all, again, just about only one car was really like a pretty good deal. I'd say it was that first car that we saw. What was it, a Suzuki something? I forgot exactly what type of car it was, but it actually went for a pretty decent price. It was a good amount under what private party value would be. Don't know exactly what the price fell at because they went into negotiation, but you know, we can assume that it's most likely going to be close to what that final price was that the highest bidder got, just because it wasn't like a no sale. It still went into a pending mode, and if they were far off from what the price was that the seller was looking for, it would have just been like the other car, which is the Jeep, where it would have just said that it was not sold and that's it. What I can take as an overall thing from this, even for myself, and honestly that I've seen with auctions in general, is that the higher that you go up in price, the more competitive it gets, and kind of like from what I see, the less good prices that there are. And it's most likely because of that same thing I mentioned earlier in the video, where there's probably more new car dealers that's going for these cars as well, where they're not really trying to look at, all right, how much money are we making off of the flip of the car? They're more so making money on the back end as well. And because of that, it makes it harder for people like us that are actually just trying to make money off the flip itself. But as a whole take for the whole video, what are my thoughts? Well, to be honest, it really depends. It depends on what your situation is. First of all, this is my market. This is what's around me. I'm in like the northeast market of New York, so prices could be a little bit different around you. Depends what type of schedule you have. If you're the person that can really only focus all your efforts on one day, where you can possibly get all your inventory in that one day, or if you're someone that really doesn't have much time to be able to go to the auction in person, especially if your work schedule conflicts with that, and you could potentially just be bidding for the cars online, on your phone, or wherever. But having that said, since I'm shooting this video, of course, yeah, you want to know what my thoughts would be as well. For me, I rather ACV auctions. Not that Odessa or Mannheim is bad, like I still go to those auctions as well, but for my lifestyle, I like it more. Not only do I see generally better prices, but also the fact that, again, I could literally bid for cars from wherever. I could be on vacation still bidding on cars if I really wanted to, and get them transported to my house. I don't have to worry about picking them up or anything. It just cuts down on time a lot to me. But having that said, I do want to know what you think. I want to know what your market is like wherever you are, and just leave it in the comments below of what you'd rather, between an auction that you go to in person or an online auction if you have went to either. And if you are wondering, like, all right, well, I can't get into these auctions, I don't have access to that, I'm not a dealer, I don't have my own dealership, that's fine, that's okay. I don't have my own full-on dealership either. But what you can do is you can go into the link in the description below. I do explain a full-on thing of how you can get dealer-only access without having your own dealership. All you have to do is just put in your email and you'll get that email directly to you. And if you want to learn more about how to flip cars and more about how you can kind of flip your money from one car to the next, I have a whole series that I'm doing where I'm flipping $1,000 to $100,000 flipping cars. If you want to see more about that, you can click here or there or wherever, and you can learn a lot more with that. And of course, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to be alerted when the next videos drop. All right, guys, till next time, peace.